What does it take to rebuild the perfect fighting machine when the damage is devastating, the outlook uncertain, the challenge unprecedented? For over 1 year, Georges St-Pierre has laid in wait. He has clawed his way back from the greatest challenge of his career to regain a shot at UFC greatness. But in his absence, a new champion has emerged. Carlos Condit, the UFC welterweight king, a fearless underdog with the heart of a world-class warrior.
No matter how good you get, what status you reach, there's always going to be someone looking to take what you have. And, you know, that's who I am to George right now. I'm that guy coming up to try to pull it all away from you.
Oh! It is all over! Carlos Condit! Wow!
He sits atop his division, again and again, silencing the skeptics. He has never lost a professional title fight, preparing once more to disprove the doubters and retain the belt he fought so hard to capture. A new force has claimed the welterweight throne, and Georges St-Pierre is ready to take it back. This is UFC. Primetime.
I was convinced that the best Georges St-Pierre was behind me. I was starting all over again. I was getting beat up in the gym, you know, by guys not even near my level. And I could see through their eyes, they were like looking at me, they were like, man, this guy is never gonna come back the same.
12 months ago, Georges St-Pierre was on top of the UFC world. He was the reigning welterweight champ. He hadn't lost a fight in over 4 years. He was widely regarded as one of the top fighters on the planet. But that all changed when a nagging knee injury was finally diagnosed. He had torn his right ACL.
I knew it was a very, very bad injury, and I needed to find the best surgeon and the best rehab people to make sure I come back 100%. Start my research, found out what is the sport that this kind of injury happened the most, and it's American football, and what the best American football that got that injury do.
And what many NFL, NBA, and other sports superstars do after such a severe injury is travel to Southern California's Sports Science Lab, where St-Pierre began 5 months of intense rehab last January. The progress was slow, the process grueling.
It was tough because I couldn't do much. You realize that the most important thing in life is health. You can have everything, the money, the love and everything, but if you don't have a good health, it's a big problem.
Meanwhile, in St-Pierre's absence, the landscape of the UFC was changing. New superstars were emerging. New titleists were crowned, including the latest fighter to wear the welterweight belt, the interim champion, Carlos Condit. Making matters worse was that while the initial rehab was difficult enough, it was upon his return to Montreal's TriStar gym that St-Pierre nearly gave up hope.
At one point I thought of myself, I said maybe I'm not going to be able to come back. Because I don't want to come back and get a beating. You know, if I come back it's because I'm ready for a title shot. I was at the phone on my hand, I was going to call Dana and say, listen, I'm not ready for it.
There was a period where, you know, things were shaky. It was a really dark time for him. You know, life goes on, new champions, new fights, new big performances, new guys, you know, stealing the show. ACL injuries have crippled careers. You know, some guys have never come back, but if there's one guy who can come back in MMA, I believe it's the GSP. Glory is fleeting, and I think George wants to recapture some of his glory. In George's mind, he's a contender. And Carlos is a champion. He's the one who's got that belt around his waist, and we all consider him to be the champion.
never good to get injured, but I truly believe it's going to make me come back better and stronger than I was before. I lost that fire before, and this whole thing helped me get the fire back.
When Albuquerque's Carlos Condit arises each morning, the ritual is always the same. He begins the day alongside his wife Seeger and their 2-year-old son Owen. But lately, the routine is a bit different. It now occurs in a brand new home, remodeled from the ground up by the Condits themselves.
Is it one more bite? And then we'll get ready for school, go see all your friends.
And it's overseen, not by an aspiring contender, but by the UFC's interim welterweight champion.
Let's go get ready. Things have been going pretty well the last couple of years. You know, got married, have a beautiful son. I just moved into a new home, and you know, my career's been going pretty well also.
Does it look better now?
Yeah.
All right.
No, mess my hair.
All right, I won't mess it up.
I have a lot on my plate between, you know, my career and my family life, but you know, that's me. That's my life. It's what I chose, and you know, I love every second of it.
Love you.
Having a son, having a family puts a whole new dimension and a whole new spin on my career. And it's not about me anymore. It's about, you know, providing for my family, but ultimately, you know, making my son proud.
All right, come on, dude. Come on this way.
The architect of Condit's recent game plan is in the building, but not in Condit's corner. Strategic guru Greg Jackson oversees a stable of elite UFC fighters. That also includes Condit's upcoming opponent, George St-Pierre.
In the case of Carlos fighting GSP, I train both guys, and so according to protocols that we've put in when teammates fight teammates, I'm stepping out completely. I won't be coaching or cornering or preparing either fighter. We'll let the other coaches do that. They're much better coaches than I am anyway, and you know, it'll be a great fight. I think the fans will have a great time watching it, but I won't be anywhere around.
Head training responsibilities now fall to Condit's longtime striking coach, Mike Winkeljohn. Winkeljohn has been a key component in Condit's rise through the welterweight ranks. Their repeated success has bred confidence, and the tandem has no plans to relinquish their title.
You know what, being the interim champ is a great thing, but Carlos knows he's got to beat GSP, and that's what Carlos wants. Carlos wants GSP. He wants the guy who's considered the best, if not one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, and that's George St-Pierre, and Carlos wants to be that guy, and he will be that guy.
Condit has no doubt earned his spot atop the current welterweight heap. In his 28 career wins, he's amassed an astounding 26 finishes. That's a 93% finish rate, the highest among any current UFC champion.
And now he's back with knees.
He's 5-0 in career title bouts.
Wow! Condit with the victory!
Last February, he captured the welterweight belt after one of the most talked about fights of the year. With St-Pierre sidelined, the interim title was up for grabs, and notorious Stockton bad boy Nick Diaz was the odds-on favorite.
Here we go!
But Condit picked Diaz apart for 5 rounds, executing his game plan masterfully.
Nice body shot by Condit. Condit with a head kick.
Certain offside, boom, hitting the guy from an angle, not standing there taking punches and swinging back like an idiot would do.
Nice combination by Carlos Condit.
At the end of the night, a battered Diaz could only watch as Condit realized a lifelong dream.
For the winner by unanimous decision, and now the interim UFC welterweight champion of the world, the natural born killer, Carlos Condit.
Carlos Condit
I think Carlos definitely outsmarted Nick Diaz in that fight. We try to hit and not get hurt. People are getting smarter, fighters are getting smarter, the sport's getting better, people are starting to fight from longer range. The whole sport's changing. It's no longer the brawlers. Now we're running to George St-Pierre, who's as smart as anybody out there, and that's what's so great about this fight. These guys, it's going to be a combination of who can impose their will, but also whose heart's the biggest.
The hardest part isn't getting the belt. The hardest part is defending the belt, and especially in this case because I'm fighting one of the best. Not only am I trying to get this interim word out of my title, I'm trying to beat George St-Pierre. Doing both in one fell swoop will be pretty damn satisfying.
While George St-Pierre is Firas Zahabi's most famous pupil, he's still just one of many. Today, Zahabi arrives from an overnight trip where he cornered another of his many fighters. Here to greet him are 3 honorary members of the TriStar team, his wife Melissa, and sons Noah and Iman.
Papa, I love you, Papa.
Given today's tight schedule, Firas won't be the only Zahabi in the gym this afternoon. The whole family will be present at practice, with the boys on their best behavior after letting off a little steam.
Just a rock star.
You got 2 rock stars.
Oh my God, Noah. You want the translation to what he just said?
What did he do?
He said, I just farted, Dad. Said, I just farted again. You're a real gentleman. Oh, Noah, ça pue.
It's not often that family members visit TriStar, but today is a welcome exception. The monotony of camp is sometimes more exhausting than the training itself. The special guests offer a welcome distraction.
Oh my God. Don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. Oh, don't hurt me. Okay. Oh. Handcuff, no. Oh.
My boys like him a lot. When they come to the gym, he plays with them. He's very nice to them. And the kids, they feel that. They feel loved right away.
Donne-moi la clé. Donne-moi la clé. Sauve-moi, donne-moi la clé. Débarre-moi.
He's just a very, very sweet person, very down to earth. He's just like everybody else.
GSP and George St-Pierre, I think, are 2 different people. When it comes to training, George is all business. He's not about being emotional, he's about being strictly effective. But outside the octagon, outside fighting, he's a very laid-back person, he's very funny, he's a very sweet guy. He's always been the same, regardless of when he was starting his fighting career and when he became the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world, he's still the same person.
Saturdays are sparring days, but today's fiercest competition won't occur in the cage. Training begins within the TriStar walls, but it will end outdoors with an old-fashioned game of street hockey. The captains, St-Pierre and teammate Rory McDonald, with TriStar bragging rights on the line.
Richie, you play hockey? Beau check. Do you play hockey? It's from the countryside. There's nothing else to do than play hockey. You play hockey? Not really. You're not on my team. How about we play hockey? We do Canada against the rest of the world. Canada against the rest. Hey, who we put in the goaltender?
In just over 2 weeks, St-Pierre will engage in a fight that answers questions that have burned for over a year. Can he silence the doubters? Has his injury healed? Can he regain the form that made him a global superstar? This pressure is enormous, but this team is a family. This workplace, a home. Even with the title fight days away, the fighting machine known as GSP can relax for a bit and just be George.
Rock, paper, scissors. One time. Okay. 1, 2, 3, shoot.
Allez, Chris.
1. Let's go. Okay, Rory, your first pick.
What I realized when I got hurt, the reason why I'm doing this and I'm successful at this is because I have fun. When you don't have fun, you better not doing it. It's not fun, what's the point?
Hey, there's only two goalies, okay? Just so you guys know.
Look, the pick, it's easy. It's only one Canadian guy. I pick Ferras. The rest is all.
I'm in the net. It's very important when you're working out with people all the time that there's a good chemistry. Hold on a second, guys. If anybody scores a goal on me, you're fucking out of the gym. You're out. I'm serious.
Hey,
I'm not even joking. Martial arts is really about being a good person. It's not just about fighting. Sometimes we get guys who come in the gym and they just don't click, you know, they might be looking just to fight. But for us here at TriStar, martial arts is not just about fighting. Nice work, Rory. You have to be disciplined and respectful. If you don't fit that description, we'll ask you to leave. Yeah, it makes me really happy to see all the guys grow up together, you know, and the family environment we have. And you see it, when one guy fights, everybody shows up, you know. When one guy's fighting, everybody's pushing him, everybody's getting behind him, and that gives you so much motivation. And as the head trainer, it gives me a lot of satisfaction to see all these people working together, and it's something special, it really is.
While many training camps are conducted in faraway seclusion, Mike Winkeljohn and his star pupil Carlos Condit prepare for their first UFC title defense without sacrificing the comforts of home. Coach and fighter are both lifelong Albuquerque natives.
Oh, you know, I love being here. I love Albuquerque. I love the people in Albuquerque. It's hard to do a camp somewhere else. You know, you have family. Everybody else has got things to do. Everybody's got their lives here. And that's what's most important to us.
See you, Steve. You gonna give me a hug and a kiss? Bye.
I think Carlos is such a family man himself that if he was to train somewhere else, he wouldn't be as effective. He'd be worried about what his family's thinking and what they're doing. I think he's at peace that way, and I think that's going to be the best Carlos Condit that there can possibly be.
Albuquerque's unforgiving surroundings have produced one of America's most distinct landscapes, and also some of the toughest fighters in the country.
Albuquerque's always been a hotbed for fight sports, and in the 80s, you know, there was a lot of great kickboxers coming out of Albuquerque, and Mike Winkeljohn was probably one of the best.
You know, when I started when I was 18, I thought I was a pretty tough guy. I was at a party and got myself in trouble a little bit. Some guy that knew how to wrestle and box a lot better than I did got the better of me. And so I went and looked up a martial arts school, and I walked into Bill Packer's school, and they were kickboxing, and I kind of got into it for all the wrong reasons, just wanted to learn how to fight. But it's been a great journey since then. I learned a lot more than fighting, you know, a lot about life and a lot about doing the right thing. That's what martial arts does for people.
Now, guys, after you hit the uppercut, don't stand still. Defend yourself. Get out of that space. Go somewhere else.
Across a pro career spanning nearly 2 decades, Winkeljohn captured 3 world championships. Upon retirement, he met a young local trainer named Greg Jackson and was soon placed on a new path.
Come on, defend the punch, defend the strike. Uppercut, let's go. Practice kicks too, it makes the hands even easier.
Then I guess about 2007, I closed my kickboxing gym. I told Greg I just want to come help train the pros and go home. And this thing's evolved so much bigger that now I'm drawn back into this, doing this full time.
But Winkeljohn's career was nearly derailed in 2008 when a freak accident left him blind in one eye, nearly forcing him to retire.
I was working with a kid that's been with me since I don't know, for 10 years or so. I wasn't paying attention. That one moment I wasn't paying attention. I turned and his toenail went across my eyeball and it cut it in half, and my lens spit out, my iris went flying, and the whole eyeball, I guess the doctor said it kind of shriveled up like a little grape. It's been a humbling experience, but you know what? It's taught me a lot. You know, I look at things different. I look at my own life, my family, everybody differently. I want to make sure people do what's right and be safe.
Since joining forces with Winkeljohn in late 2009, Condit is undefeated. With Jackson out of the picture and Winkeljohn firmly in charge, the pair's partnership has never been stronger. As fight night draws closer, training intensifies, and they both prepare for the biggest fight of their lives.
We're working closer together. We're watching tape together. We're really trying to formulate a comprehensive game plan for this fight. Between all the people that I have around me, there is a plethora of mixed martial arts experience. You know, guys who've been in the corner of champions time and time again. George and I have a lot on the line in this fight. I think he's coming in with a point to prove. I'm the interim champion. I have to go in there. I have to take it to him. I have to win this fight. I want to fight the best GSP there's ever been. He says he's found new motivation. You know, he's got a fire lit under his ass, and I believe that. I'm excited by that. That fires me up. I want to fight that guy. I want to fight the George that I looked up to for so many years, that I admired, that I wanted to be like. You know, I want to beat that guy.